Good morning. Auto lock. Okay. Plan for today, man. We are finishing the Purrvert painting. I know it's kind of been we took a couple days in between. We had to get some other stuff done, you know, just some life things. Had to move in, all that stuff. And then also there was the lightest two layers were still a little bit wet, you know, which is pretty common with titanium white. That stuff always takes a long time to dry. Even with the help of, you know, Texas heat. It's still pretty...
Welcome to Miller's. What can I get for you today?
Yes, ma'am. Can I please get a Bill Miller breakfast bowl with brisket instead of sausage?
A Bill Miller breakfast bowl with brisket?
Yes, ma'am. And can I also please get a large unsweet tea refill?
An unsweet tea refill? What else do you sir?
That's all.
Any brownies or pies today?
No, ma'am.
And any hot sauce?
Yes, ma'am. On the side, please.
Alrighty, so those $9.84.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so even with the help of, you know, the sweltering Texas heat, the titanium white still, it do be staying wet, brother. So yeah, the big plan for today is to get that guy done. And, you know, there's a lot of sort of detail work that's going to go into today, so I anticipate it'll probably take the majority of my painting time. After that, I'm gonna probably start looking at reference for the next two. I'm really liking the size that I'm working in, which is 24 by 30 inches. You know, the Purrvert and Protection are both in that same size, 24 by 30, so that is 2 feet wide by 2.5 feet tall. It's a size that I really like. It's you know, I really love doing my little 8 by 10 studies, but I feel like I can't immerse myself quite as much in those. And then when I work on the really big dudes, it's almost like too much immersion for what I'm trying to do with this series of paintings. So I feel like this kind of smaller, you know, mid-size on the smaller scale is going to be pretty perfect. Perfect. That's right. That's right. So yeah, man, what else? What else do we got going on today? I've still got a whole bunch of things to get moved in and stuff, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. Oh yeah, the fucking print is dropping today. I'm gonna get home and post about it on Instagram. That's true, yeah. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the print release. It's just a good day, man. Today's gonna be a good day. It's Monday. Yeah, that's the big takeaway today. It's gonna be a good fucking day, goddammit. It's Monday. It's like it's nice outside, you know. I've got my health. I've got AC in the fucking car. I've got a beautiful studio to go work in today. We're just doing a gratitude checklist right now, man. I've got you know, I've got enough money to get some fucking breakfast, which is awesome. I'm gonna get my unsweet tea, which I do every day, and it's like my favorite thing in the world. I use the same, you know, refill-y cup every time, so, you know, there's no unnecessary waste. I only like, let me make sure it still works. Okay. Sometimes that's just to make sure, man, because it stops recording. But I only like waste when it's necessary. I don't like unnecessary waste. Necessary waste, however, I'm fully in support of. This, however, would be unnecessary. I can't think of an example of necessary waste quite at the moment, but when I do, I will get back to you. And in the meantime, let's get to fucking work. Last days, man. Details, details. And plenty of them on this painting. First thing I'm working on is the bar right under the YouTube video where you can see the kind of timeline. So I just indicated really quickly just little icons, and now obviously just working on the comment section and the information above. I made a mistake and went a little bit too dark on the values, but luckily I have a good amount of that background color left over, so I was able to just layer over and continue with my details. The thing about details in oil painting is that it's more about summarizing. It's kind of like reading Cliff's Notes. That's the powerful thing about oil painting, is that when you paint details, you're not trying to just get every little actual detail. You're trying to, the real strength is being able to summarize in 1 or 2 strokes. And so when you look at the icons here at the bottom, they read super well, but when I show you the details later of that shot, it's gonna look like absolute shit up close. Just like the text and everything else, here from this distance it reads so well. And now that we're getting wrapped up on it, from here we're gonna show you how to photograph and edit. After, of course, a little bit of motherfucking Tony Hawk, and we'll get down to photos. I'm using a Canon 5D Mark II, which I think is a great camera for this. It's a full frame sensor. It's an older camera, it's about a decade old, but I still find that it takes beautiful photos. I'm photographing in my studio, just using natural light and the overheads. If I have, if the lighting conditions need to change, for me it's just sort of as simple as moving this big old blanket around and exposing the painting itself to a little bit more sun. And then, just taking a good photo. And then after that, it's just a matter of getting it on the computer and doing some editing. So let's check that out. Just opening the image up, I use a raw file. And the first thing I like to do is just kind of see if any of the presets are going to work for this, so I tried the auto stuff and it's not really going to work. So I'm going to toggle here through the temperature and the tint until I find a good place for it. And what I'm looking for obviously is to just recreate the conditions of the actual photo. So I don't want to get too drastic with like contrast and stuff like that. Like a 5 is nice, and that just kind of helps restore a bit of the saturation lost in the photographing process. And then when I open it, it's a background image. So the first thing I'm going to do is just make sure to find the crop that I like, right? So I'm just making sure that there's none of that little tape exposed anymore. It looks pretty good. Moving closer. And when you move close up though, you'll see like, hey, if there's a little bit of tape, and I'm just checking all 4 edges and it's looking pretty good. So from here, I'm gonna re-import the image because again, when I imported it the first time, it's a background image, so you can't actually access the raw file from there if you wanna make changes. And simply bringing the file in once more just gives you all of that capability. I'm also toggling on and off between the layers just to make sure that it's placed exactly the same as before. And once it is, again, I'm going to check the edges, and I missed one little one right here, a little bit of tape. And then from here, I can just start editing the detail shots. So the detail shots, essentially the same thing. I just take them a lot closer. And with these, I kind of apply the previous settings. There's a little function on the Adobe Camera Raw to apply previous settings, and that's basically what I do, and just gives me, it doesn't always work, it's kind of like the presets, but it gives you a good starting point. So here, for instance, I'm toggling back and forth between the original image and really messing with the exposure, because since I took the photo so close up, I think it kind of compensated a little bit and gave me a bit more exposure than I would have wanted. So I'm just toggling again back and forth and making sure that the exposure is right and that everything is matching up as closely as I possibly can. And again, just cropping out all of that little tape. One of the good things about painting against the wall is that you're basically going to just get a very flush image, and that's what we want. That's what we want to go for. And aside from that, man, it's a pretty basic and simple process. That's all there is to photographing it. So more than anything, it's important to just remember to experiment and play and try things out and see what works for you. So let's cue that motherfucking B-roll and show you how this looks. Well, I hope you enjoyed another episode of Work in Progress. God damn it. This has been so much fun, and I'm having so much fun doing this. Editing videos daily, man. This has been This is an exciting grind, I'll tell you that. I'm excited for the next one.